Chapter 4. See people as they are. Social intelligence. Social intelligence is the ability to see people in the most realistic light possible. Success attained without this intelligence is not true mastery and will not last. Benjamin Franklin, the founding member of the United States, first went to work as an apprentice in his brother's James printing shop. His dream was to become a great writer. He was inside a printing shop, which made his real knowledge and skills improve immensely. James started his own newspaper, the New England Courant. Benjamin thought he could be a writer in that newspaper. To his surprise, though, his own brother rejected him. But then he decided to start sending letters to the Courant in the name of a young female widow named Silence Dogood, who had lots of strong opinions about life in Boston. James liked them and asked for more letters from her. When Benjamin confessed, he did not get any praise. His brother did not like being lied to, and over the next years it became hard to work for James. So he fled away from Boston. In Philadelphia, the then governor William Cate of the colony of Pennsylvania was not happy with the two already established printing businesses. Benjamin was working at one of them. His boss was Samuel Keimer. The governor convinced Benjamin to create a new printing shop as he already had vast amounts of knowledge compared to others of his age. So he instructed him to go to London to buy the equipment necessary, and Benjamin went without informing his boss. Benjamin was told that money was waiting for him there by the governor. Turns out the governor was a notorious talker and had lied to Benjamin. There was no money waiting for him. Benjamin was very naive. In London, he got into another printing shop, and his colleagues drank a pint of beer 5 times a week, and he was expected to contribute to the beer fund. He did not want to pay for others to ruin their health. They accepted. At least he thought so. Someone then started sabotaging his work. He then contributed to the fund, and all the mistakes in his papers disappeared. Benjamin was hopelessly naive. With people, he was always swept by their emotions, and he lost contact with reality. So he started to not get emotional and initially take a step backward. He would see how to melt their resistance or thwart their malevolent plans. He then, after saving up money, went back to America. His ex-boss, Keimer, gave him a job as a trainer for the new interns, and he was in charge of them. He received a nice salary, but he felt something was fishy. Keimer wanted Benjamin to impart his extensive knowledge for the 5 persons and then fire him as a payback for when Benjamin ditched Keimer for London. Benjamin, knowing this, made relationships with the customers, merchants, and using his position. He experimented stuff he had learnt in England and taught himself new skills such as engraving and ink making. He gave close attention to his pupils and made one of them a first rate assistant. Just when he was about to get fired, he quit and started his own with all the old customers and a first rate assistant he himself trained. He became He then became a prominent member of Philadelphia and entered politics. In 1776, the last public part of his life, he convinced the French king to give military alliance and financing to, to the USA. The French king was known to be very stingy. He convinced the French king by using his social rationality. We humans were the preeminent social animal. We have empathy and rational thinking, but these are underdeveloped due to our extended period of dependency in our childhood. We have childish illusions about people, distorting our view of them, the naive perspective. We carry this into our apprenticeship phase. These people manipulate, compete, and always think of themselves first. But we are still basically blind as we are naive. We are sensitive, vulnerable, and we misread people. We let our feelings mix. We become tangled. We need to have social intelligence. We should discard the naive perspective and approach something realistic, focusing our attention outward rather than inward. We start to accept people as they are and not demonize or idealize. We must review our past. You are most likely to see what others did to you in a naive perspective, but you should see how you saw in others qualities that they did not possess, or how you ignored signs of a dark side to their nature. Specific knowledge. Reading people. You need to train yourself to pay less attention to their works and more to their tone of voice, the look in their eye, their body language, a sense of nervousness or excitement. We can see how people behave around those in positions of power and authority. They may reveal anxiety or resentment. See the world in their view. Look at any common emotional experiences. It can help identifying. You should be sensitive to any extreme behavior, a blustery friend, overly friendly manner, a constant penchant for jokes. General knowledge, the seven deadly realities. Envy. Those who are too insecure have a lot of envy and will sabotage to release that energy. People who praise you too much or who become overly friendly in the first stages often are envious and are getting closer to hurt you. If you have a certain gift for a skill, make it a point of occasionally displaying some weakness in some other area and display great interest in their work. Conformism, the practice or principle of behaving or dressing or thinking like the majority of people in a group or society. Those who are aiming for mastery are rebellious, but don't show this when you're an apprentice. Show it in mastery. Rigidity. We prefer what is familiar. We follow the same procedures that worked before, but we do not know if it will work later. And you can't change other people's rigidity. Self obsessiveness. We are always thinking about ourselves, even when even when we act for the greater good, we are still doing it so that we are liked. Look at the world in their eyes and give them something valuable for helping you, and let conservations revolve around you. Conversations. Laziness. We all want to take the easiest part. Most of us manage this and put in the work, whereas some steal your best ideas, put their name on it. So beware of the people who want to collaborate. Fightiness. We are largely governed by our emotions, which colors our perspectives. People constantly change their ideas based on their mood. So have distance and a degree of detachment from other people's shifting emotions. Rely on yourself. Passive aggression. Indirect expression of negative emotions like anger or resentment. Rather than addressing them openly, some are always like this with insecurities. Look at people's track record. Strategies for acquiring social intelligence. Speak through your work. It is hard to argue with results. Craft the appropriate persona. Create the image that suits you. See yourself as others see you. What we look in the mirror is not what is perceived outside. We should not be too emotional and insecure. Find what are your flaws. Suffer fools gladly. There are many fools in this world. They want short term results, have ego, and are too insecure. They get little done and they make life harder for others. They overly criticize on irrelevant matters. They are time wasters, so let them suffer. Chapter 5. Awaken the dimensional mind. The creative active. After acquiring more skills and internalizing all the rules in your field, your mind wants to be more active. You will want to do tasks differently. But you may hesitate towards this and stay in your safe little bubble. You must keep learning, keep making experiments, keep making the brain stronger. After this, your picture on your field will monumentally become bigger. The second transformation. Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart was always surrounded by music. His father was a violinist and composer in the court of Salzburg, Australia, as well as an instructor. In the house, he would hear all the students practicing. Mariana, his sister, was also great at the tender age of 7. Wolfgang would hum pieces of his sister's music. Keep in mind, Wolfgang was only 3 years old. His father started to teach him. Wolfgang absorbed music far greater than a normal person. He stole exercises meant for his sister and did them himself. His father so then decided to take them in tours. Both Mariana and Wolfgang stunned the crowd. He met many composers during this and learnt a lot. The Mozart family were by then completely dependent on their kids. Well, the children grew up and the novelty wore down. Invites to concerts dried up. Both father and son went on a final tour to get a job for Wolfgang. He became a court musician and composer in Salzburg. He had good money and also had the time to compose. Wolfgang created a new type of genre which was rather too ahead of its time. He was begged to stop by his father. He felt constrained. He then he then went to Vienna with the Archbishop. There, he was treated like a servant, which made him stay in Vienna alone and decided to leave the Archbishop and his father. After his 20-year apprenticeship, he was prepared. He created many masterpieces and created operas like he dreamed of, which are still being played. And still, Mozart is known everywhere in the world. In our childhood, we entertained all kinds of surprising original ideas and things we now take for granted. This makes us to wonder. We were more consumed in reality. We would play with circumstances. This is the original mind. Now, we become defensive about the world we take for granted and are upset if our beliefs or assumptions are attacked. This is the conventional mind. Masters still have some of their original mind stacked with their apprenticeship. Discipline into childlike spirit is equal to the dimensional mind. For a dimensional mind, 1. The creative task. Look at creativity differently. Do not make something do or make something connected deep with you, like your life's task. You cannot find anything new if you are unwilling to leave the shore. So do everything you do wholeheartedly. 2. Creative strategies. Cultivate negative capability. You have to stop judging everything. You should go out of your train track and think differently. B. Allow for serendipity. Many of the most interesting and profound discoveries in science is when the thinker is not concentrated. Be open, have a looseness of spirit. Let ideas come from all sides. Keep a notebook with you and write your observations. Allow for a tiny chance. Alternate the mind through the current. Cycle between speculation and observations. Experiment. For example, if you're creating a product, first make a prototype. After the reviews, make a product. Prototypes are the experiment, reviews are the speculation. The alter your perspective. Look at the how instead of the what. Do not generalize. Look at tiny details but still be connected with a bigger picture. Paradigms Paradigms are accepted ways of explaining reality. This is necessary but should not dominate. Anomalies reveal to us the flaws in our paradigms and opens new ways of looking at the world. In a story called Silver Blaze by Arthur Conan Doyle, Sherlock Holmes solves the case by realizing if the family's dog had not barked, the murderer must have been a known person. So pay attention to the things that should have happened but did not. We have to think beyond language. We have to think visually. They say images contain 1,000 words. So images makes our ideas more concrete. Emotional pitfalls. At this stage in creative active phase in your career, we face new challenges and we are all on our own. We will grow up insecure, overly anxious about people's opinions, or excessively self confident. We become bored and lose a taste for hard work if you are not careful. We should be aware of these pitfalls. Complacency. Complacency is a feeling of uncritical, contented, self satisfaction with your own current abilities or situations. We stop asking questions, we stop trying to reach higher heights, we go into this hard shell which blocks creativity. Constantly remind yourself with how little you know and how mysterious the world still is. Conservation. Conservatism. You begin to fall in love with the ideas that worked for you in the past and never let go. The world is dying for bolder ideas, for people who are not afraid to speculate and investigate. Dependency. When you are an apprentice, you are supposed to be dependent. Don't drag it on to the next phase of life. You have to become independent. You should acknowledge only the opinions of the public that matter. Impatience. There are no shortcuts in life. You have to put in the work. Grandiosity. Sometimes greater danger comes from success and praise than from criticism. There are always greater geniuses than yourself. Strategies for reaching the creative active phase. The authentic voice. Musicians take up a long apprenticeship. In the process, they learn so much. So when they go into the creative active phase, it all combines into a unique, authentic voice. For this, you need patience. The the fact of a great yield. The animal world has two types: specialists like hawks or eagles with one dominant skill upon which they depend for their survival. Opportunists, on the other hand, have no particular specialty. They depend on the skill of searching for opportunities and grabbing them. We humans are the biggest opportunists, but not so in the creative world. We must find a gap or opportunity and grab it. Natural powers. We don't receive any training before the creative process. We are left with our own tools which would help us to swim or sink. In the creative process, you should have an initial period that is open ended. Then you can sharpen your ideas to reality. Have wide knowledge of yours and others' field, giving your brain more possible associations and connections. 3. Never settle into complacency. Be patient. 4. The open field. Any way of thinking or thinking that once had success quickly becomes a paradigm. The idea becomes dead. Do something new, not the usuals. The high end. Don't think in the same way. Constantly change your perspective. Your project or problem should be connected with something larger. 6. The evolutionary hijack. Creativity is messy. It resembles a process known as evolutionary hijacking. In evolution, accidents and contingency play an enormous role. Birds evolved from reptiles. Did you know that? Those feathers became adapted for the purpose of flying, transforming into wing feathers. We find ideas by accidents in the create process. We have to be open and adaptive. Alchemical creativity and the unconscious. Those who think such a thing is real and such a thing is called unreal can never and it can never become blended into a third alchemical element are creatively limited. Your task as a creative thinker is to actively explore the unconscious and contradictory parts of your personality and to examine similar contradictions and tensions in the world at large. You are so much in you are with so much information now, ideas will naturally come. Fuse the intuitive with the rational. Mastery. Mastery is a form of intelligence, one that allows us to see more of the world, to anticipate trends, to respond with speed and accuracy to any circumstance. For this, you must immerse yourself in a field of study. The third transformation. Marcel Proust, a writer, was a victim of many diseases in his childhood. Most of his time was alone, which gave him time to read. Marcel realized his life's task was to be a writer and to illuminate the laws of nature. Marcel had a lot of knowledge as he had accumulated so much from his books, and surprisingly, he was very social. He found a social life in these upper echelons of French society endlessly fascinating, which was his idea to write about. He decided he would analyze the social world as ruthlessly as an ant colony studied by an entomologist. To study and to collect characters. He attended various parties, and to be in that high level, he spent a lot of money. He had no discipline and no real career aspirations. This made his father worried. His first book, Pleasures and Days, was a disaster. Having faced humiliation, he started learning English and translated John Ruskin's novels to French. This erased his horrible first fiasco. After his parents' death, he decided to write a story revolving around a young man who became too neurotically attached to his mother and cannot forge his own identity. Basically, the author's own life story, but he wrote the entire history of France from when he was born till he died. It was a whole new genre. His writing style was widely praised. In the seven book series, he included he included various other genres. His writing style was like this. He included psychology and more. He, while on his deathbed, made his assistant to rewrite the death scene as, as it was not real enough for him. He sadly died before he saw all seven books in print. These masters could see more. Mastery is the pinnacle of human intelligence, but is often ignored. We only think rationally. We see phenomenon A, deduce a cause B, and maybe anticipate a reaction C. We have got excellent results using this, but what masters can do cannot be put into a formula. Masters have a different process which is accessible to all. Masters reach a point when they understand all parts of the game. They have an intuitive feel for the whole, like a spidey sense. You can reach this by putting in 20,000 plus hours, which is all qualitatively rich. With this amount of practice, they have a dynamic where they make many insights as the brain makes sudden connections between disparate forms of knowledge. This doesn't mean they only work based on their gut feeling. They have reasonings for everything. They still use their rational thinking, and when we make so many connections with everything, we feel it feels like connecting all the dots, which helps us to see more. The return to reality. We all evolved from one point. We are all connected. So this is the ultimate reality. Our human mind goes in one of the two directions. One being we move away from the interconnectedness and focus instead on the distinction between things. We become too specialized. This Whereas the second direction is the opposing tendency, where we want to make connections between everything. We see this tendency in masters. Masters in their brain have a vibrant ecosystem where all forms of thinking associate and connect. Strategies for attaining mastery. You need time and intense focus applied to a particular subject. Masters don't take the conventional route, they pave their own. Connect to your environment. Primal powers. We observe everything in our surroundings, and all of them are potential signs to interpret. We get so much knowledge from observing our environment, we can sense the changes before they happen. But we should use only our eyes and brain for this, nothing else. 2. Play for your strengths. Supreme focus. Find your strengths and play with them. Think of your strengths like a current in water. Do you want to swim against it or with it? Transform yourself through practice. The fingertip feel. With practice, skills become automatic. We should master simple skills which will stack together, which will essentially makes us master one complete skill, one complex skill. We should master many complex skills. 10,000 hours or 20,000 hours to reach mastery can be shortened if you give the required effort. Submit to the other, the inside out perspective. Many researchers rely on the skills and concepts they have learned for research purposes, but in the end, they will remain on the outside looking in with a distorted lens. To truly understand the public, the audience, or the clients, we must enter their minds and value systems, their guiding myths, and their way of seeing the world. This is essential for mastery. Synthesize all forms of knowledge, the universal man or woman. We must be steeped in all forms of knowledge such that our mind grows closer to the reality of nature itself and sees secrets that are invisible to most people. The rich ideas that will come from this quest will be their own reward. Robert Greene. He has a degree in classical studies and has been an editor at the Esquire and various other magazines. He is the best selling author of The 48 Laws of Power, The 33 Strategies of War, The Art of Seduction, and The 50th Law, and this book we did now. And he lives in Los Angeles.